into our topic that we had. The streets has no expiration date, you know. But let's see. I got a little buzz going on here. What is this buzz, man? What is this buzz? There we go.
Yep, that was Dutch.
There we go. Yeah, man. So it's me, the most interesting DJ in the world, DJ Rud.
Woohoo!
And we're going to follow up what we were saying. So, you know, I'm going to let Rud take the lead on this thing here right now.
Listen, man, give him the show topic, man. Cause
show topic.
We've been gone for a minute now. Dutchy Bang was burning the whole DJ booth down.
The topic of the show today was the streets have no expiration date. And we was talking about ways that we could get together and help some of these young brothers and sisters make the transition from the street life to corporate America, where we can save them from pending incarceration or death. You know, so it's important that we talk about this. It's a hard conversation to have sometimes. You know, some people might think that, you know, why y'all having that conversation? Ain't nobody want to hear that. But, you know, right here on the TP Square show, in the Feel Good show, you know, we talk about things that people think about, but they might not say. So, you know what?
That's a fact. That first segment was deep. You know, for those of y'all just tuning in, you know, if you want to chime in, you can hit us up at 888-304-4401 right here, live on the line at Gynesis. But we're going to pick up right where we left off, man. And I think to answer that question and that topic, me personally, I feel like we are contributing and we doing something.
Oh,
because we doing it right here at Gynesis. Sometimes just having somebody to talk to or listen.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, it's always easy to find somebody to chill with, but it's very hard to find people to build with.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's the best way I can say it. So here we can build.
Yeah.
You know, we can build and destroy, but we're going to do a little more building than destroying.
More building than destroying, you know.
And it all depends on the person. I'm heavy on that. Like when they ready, it's when they ready. It's not us forcing it on nobody. We just, then we come to the state of our life where we have to admit it, man. We getting up in age.
That's right.
So the guy last night, shout out Son of 215, man.
Son of 215 was in the building here.
He said, "Yo, OG," and I looked, and I can't take that as an insult. I got to take that as a badge of honor, man, because he was giving us our proper salutation, man. And
right.
If nothing else, we got to stop judging everything too on financial. People think money equals success.
No.
But your health is your wealth when you get our age. You know what I mean?
Wealth. And guess what? Like I said in the earlier segment, how much money do you need to be able to walk away from the street? You know what I mean? Because guess what? At some point, it's not even about the money. Because in most cases, some of us, you know, some people have more money than they can spend.
That's a fact, too.
And, you know, all the money in the world can't give you happiness. And guess what? All the money in the world can't buy you a second.
You know what it is, too? Like, you get to a certain level in life, and perfect example, God bless the dead, Joey Steinbrenner from the Yankees, right? He had at least 60 or more people employed.
Mm-hmm.
So with him retiring, that's 60 people out of a job. You know, he had everybody from his barber, but he didn't pour his own drinks. He was at that level of financial success. So when he transitioned, guess what? His sons took over, but a lot of people lost their job because now the son is building his team, and it ain't going to be the same team.
That's right.
Michael Jackson, same thing. Yeah,
that's right.
Many people employed. You know, so when they fall,
that's right.
Sometimes these guys just stay in the game because they don't put so much on their plate. Because when you're in that position, people are dependent on you.
That's right.
You know what I mean? You are the go-to guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you always want to be that once you've been that.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And even when you're not that, because when our fast money slowed up, people still look at us like we the go-to guy.
Yeah, you got it.
And if we really couldn't swallow our pride and ego,
that's right,
we probably still be doing the same thing, trying to keep up those images.
Nah, well, you know what?
Ain't nothing wrong with telling somebody, listen, it ain't like it used to be.
Hey, listen, you know, to make the transition, like I said before earlier, you got to change your nouns, your people, places, and your things, you know, in order to be able to prepare yourself to make that transition, you know, and you have to be okay with allowing the lights to come down. You know, you don't have to be on the stage anymore, you know, to hear the crowd roar for you anymore, you know. When you ride through and you just smiling from ear to ear and waving and stuff like that, you know, you gotta get to a point where you're okay with you and you can have a quieter, simpler life.
You can't get out the game if you still seeking attention from the village, man.
Yeah. You can't be seeking attention because you know what? That's what gets you in trouble all the time. That's what make you notice to the police. That's what make you notice to the rest of the street level barbarians. You know, the stick up man, the hit man, and everybody else. And then you know what? People get jealous over your success. You know, and it doesn't matter if it's in the streets or in corporate America. People get jealous over your success, and you know you have to be prepared to deal with all that. Why do you think successful people tend to move in secure communities? You know, they moved out to the suburbs, they moved to the hills, you know, they moved into gated communities and stuff like that, you know, because you don't change. You know, you won't stay in the hood and try to rep your hood and show love, but everybody around you will change. You know, even though you showing love, you know, they're mad because it's you and not them. You know, so sometimes you have to relinquish title to your hood. You know, and you have to pack it in and go socialize with people who are socially your peer. You know, because the reality is, if I didn't relocate and change my nouns, you know what? I could have been a victim to the hood, and it's not that I was in the street like that. You know what I mean? It's just because, you know, I was successful in the real estate game and everything else that I had going on, and you know, me being an entrepreneur, you know, I had businesses that I could run that would generate income, and you know, cats would look at me and be like, "Oh, this dude right here," you know. My conversation was different because you know when you come up, your conversation is different. Because guess what? I don't care about who get money on down there on that block, and I don't care who took out the last drug lord and all that stuff. That's not my conversation. I'm talking about things that, you know, generational wealth, making investments, and you know stuff like that. So when you start having those type of conversations with people who are stuck in a hood mentality, guess what? They think you're bragging, you know, and they mad. So you can get taken out in the hood just because you're successful and your conversations is different, you know?
Well, listen, they say if you can run a cartel, you can run a Fortune 500
Absolutely.
company.
And
You know what I mean?
Probably do a better job.
That's a big myth that, you know, these key players in the game are dummies and they had no other options. They was just the toughest guy on the block. No. These dudes is educated. all the ones on American Greed and all that stuff.
Shout out to Beans, the Broad Street bully.
Oh, shout out to my man.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
My man Beans. Shout out to, just shout out Philadelphia, man. I mean,
yeah.
Just what they brought to the station last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Sometimes they don't always remember that we part of PA, you know, in our little bubble we in.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we repping PA.
We repping PA, absolutely.
This is PA, man. It's just absolutely. PA very big. You know, people don't realize how big Pennsylvania is.
But you know what though, Rod? Another thing I want to say about the brothers and sisters that's in the streets, and again, the title of the show is "The Streets Has No Expiration Date." We do, right? I was listening to some music last night and this morning, and I played the old Harold Melvin and Bruno song, "Where Are All My Friends." Right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta ask yourself, where are all your friends? You know, because when you can figure out who your friends are. You got to step ahead of everybody else. You move in the right direction. Because once you realize that folks are not your friends, you have to have the wisdom to start eliminating them from your life. You know.
It's disappointing, man.
Yeah.
People disappoint you all the time, man.
Yeah, but guess what, man? You need to know that sometimes, because in the case of all the brothers that lose their life to the streets, it wasn't a stranger that came and got them. It was somebody they knew. It wasn't a stranger who put the hit on them. It was somebody they knew, who knew how they were moving, and they knew where they were living at, and knew what their favorite Chinese restaurant was, and they knew where the side chick lived at, and the baby mama lived at. It was somebody who could get real close to you. So, we have to again talk to the young men in the streets and prepare them for exit strategy that doesn't require a casket, that doesn't require a lawyer and a visit to a prison. You do what you do. It's all good. You got your chips up. Now it's time to exit from that. The street life should just be used as a tool, not as a lifetime career, because you can't retire from the street.
Listen, man, I appreciate being part of Gynesis Radio, this platform.
Yes.
Really, I've been around the block a few times. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
This is it, man. Because
we do what it do over here, Gynesis Radio.
And I'm saying that not to toot our own horn over here, because that's not even what we doing today.
Mm-hmm.
We talking about a real situation, and the reason this topic even was the topic is because it kind of hit us close to home this week.
That's right.
You know what I mean? But I'm saying that because I'm going to switch the gear to the same topic, but I want to ask you a question, because I kind of know the answer, but I want the millions of people that's listening to hear this, because having a media platform is a powerful thing.
Absolutely.
This is a rare occasion for people that look like us,
yeah.
Right? So, what part of media do you think plays a part into this whole mentality? Because I think it plays a super duper major part in it.
Social media plays a major part on it. Look, you can go on Instagram at any point, and there is a young street level barbarian, is what I call him. A hustler in the street. He's flashing his money. He's bragging about his car, and at the same time, God bless his soul, but I did a show, and we talked about Pop Smoke. And I said that, he was murdered, but it was death by showboating. Because he was, the day of his death, he was showboating, and letting people know where he was at and all those type of things. And it's just, the streets don't care. They're not thinking about who you're going to leave behind. They're not thinking about your children or your mother or your wife, your brothers and sisters. They ain't thinking about that. They're saying, you got it and I want it. And since you showboating it and you putting it on Instagram, oh, you over here at the Airbnb over there, we know that spot. You ain't the only one that been rented that Airbnb spot to shoot a video or stay there for a couple days or what have you. Oh, we know where it's at. And we know we gonna come get you. So for all you young men that's out there, don't flash your stuff on social network, because you're lining yourself up, for a lick, as they call it.
Listen, you on vacation.
Nobody needs to know.
Don't go live from another country. Guess what? You're gonna come home. Guess what? Your patio furniture gonna be gone.
Hey, look,
you know what I mean? Like, people just troll. They troll the social media. They troll it just. Yeah. So they say, "Oh, word,
absolutely,
word,
absolutely."
DJ such and such is DJing at ATL this week.
Oh,
word.
yeah. Word.
People just
came home and his car was on bricks.
Yeah, they just we tell our
And your
whole life
neighbor-
on social media.
And then your neighbor say, "Yeah, the guy was at your house. He said he was putting new brakes on your car. Yeah, he was putting brakes on my new car. He was putting the brakes on the locks on my wheels to get my wheels off my car, and that's why it's still jacked up with them bricks underneath there, because they done took my $5,000 wheels. You know what I mean? Because you are showboating, and you know what? Sometimes you can't make people feel bad. You know what I mean? Because, again, I say this all the time. And no matter what hood you in, you find the most expensive cars in the poorest neighborhoods. You know? Why is that? And it's because of where we have been placed socially, that, you know, in order for us to feel accomplished and feel good about ourselves.
His media programming plays into it.
Right. We have to buy expensive car and buy expensive clothes and expensive shoes and all that stuff so that we can feel that we succeeded. No, you just spent your money and enriched somebody else. You know, if you're gonna do it for the sake of generational wealth. That, you know what, your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren don't have to struggle the way you did, that they don't have to use the streets as a into the means if you did it.
And my man Cameron's, I'm just listening to that still, like Me Too.
Yeah.
He made that. It's the Me Too era, man. If somebody over here get money, you want to get money too. Somebody over here got this. Like we like to say, it's not too many people that have an original idea. No, this ain't new.
That's right.
You didn't reinvent the wheel with this.
That's right.
You know what I mean? They gonna let you do what you do until they get ready to put the clamps down on you.
Yeah.
And that's normally because you stepping on their toes some kind of way.
Yeah, and you know what? Like for me, this whole topic, this whole situation hit close to home, because you know what? When I get the call that my brother-in-law got murdered in the street, you know what? My first instinct was, that's my little brother. You know? And I got the call and I'm driving in the car, and all I want to do is get off the highway, and I'm heading west, and then turn around to head east to go back to the scene of the crime, because, you know, that's our first instinct. We want to retaliate. We want to attack. You know, when, you know, but that's not where I'm at in my life. But the pain and the hurt was real, because in spite of the situation, I lost somebody I love. You know what I mean? So the shooter, right? He don't even know who I am. So how could he care about how I feel about what he did?
Well, it's just,
you know what I mean? So when we lose our loved ones to the streets, you know, it's a whole lot of us who feel the pain, you know, and have to live that every day, knowing that this was a good dude. He was smarter than the average bear, and had he had an exit strategy, maybe this wouldn't have happened.
well, listen, exit strategy, it pertains to this subject, but it pertains to a lot of stuff, man. Like, we talk about this all the time, whether we realize it or not. In our mind, we putting the exit strategy together.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Even if you're on a 9 to 5, like I said, you kind of even need an exit strategy for that. I mean,
even on a 9 to 5, it's like, I could use me for an example. Any and everybody that knows me know that I have the black man fetish. I love cars, right? And at any given moment in my 30s, I could have too many cars parked in my driveway, right? And I had all kinds of foreign cars and stuff like that, right? But when I realized that it was a phase that I went through, and we all go through our different phases. I went through that phase, and I woke up one day, and I realized, how many cars can you drive at one time, right? Only person making out is the guy that sold me the car, an insurance company that I'm paying for the insurance. You know, that's who are making out. But as I developed and grew, and got myself together mentally, right? I don't drive a foreign car. I don't want to be on. I don't want nobody to, when I ride by, to look and say, "That's TP right there in that car," because I got something that's unique and different. I decided that I don't want to stand out. I want to blend in. So I no longer drive foreign cars. What I drive is cars that people from Middle America would drive. I like Chevys. I like GM cars. So, I'm driving GM cars. You know what I mean?
They cut the check already.
Checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
Shout out to Chevy.
Checks in the mail.
We getting Suburbans?
Yeah.
Don't you bang, we getting Suburbans.
That's right, man. But think about it. See, people right now in the hood are breaking their backs to buy a Tesla. They want to be the first kid on the block with a Tesla, right? So when you're the first kid on the block with a Tesla, sometimes you're the only kid on the block in the neighborhood with a Tesla. So when the Tesla come riding through the neighborhood, they know it's you. And sometimes it's those little things that put the target on our back.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. I've been running across a lot of young bulls, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just in our line of work, we run across a lot of young bulls.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say, I gotta take my hat off to this. This generation is they have an entrepreneurial spirit. Like,
oh yeah, they do.
If believe it or not, like we say, even the military is being picky now. Like before, that used to be an option for us growing up. Your pops would tell you, yeah, get a job or join the military, go to college, something.
Mm-hmm.
It became where military was even being picky. I heard that they was only out of 75 applicants, only maybe 15 got approved. So they was even being picky because the youth are gonna look at this like, I'm not gonna do a 20-year dead-end job. That's how they looking at it. And if I can put 20 years into myself as an entrepreneur, I can still be successful, and I can be my own boss. But entrepreneurial spirit, the entrepreneur is not for everybody.
Right.
Some people need a program to say, you got to do this 7 in the morning. Everybody don't have the same discipline level.
Yeah.
So, not to get off topic, but it still pertains to the topic because we could all have the same amount of money and end up in a different place just because of choices that we make.
Absolutely.
How many people work the same job as you? How many police officers they in the academy together? 20 years later, one guy's a millionaire fishing in Florida, the other guy living in his mom's basement, and just in a new got a fresh 20 on a child support case. Got a fresh 20. So it all depends. We could all start off at the same,
right,
and have the same exact money.
Absolutely.
And it ain't gonna end the same. It depends on your discipline level. But a lot of these kids that I'm running across, I'm only saying this because you mentioned Tesla, and this just happened to me. The young bull like Tesla. He's watching it. They just came out with this new joint, cost $130,000. That's what struck the conversation. This was just the other day. Mm-hmm. But guess what? Guess what these dudes are doing? They got that smartphone in their hand.
Hold on. We got a call coming in. What's going on, Tone? What's the deal, baby? Yeah. Well, You on the air live with us right here. We on the air, Gynesis Radio. You on the air live, man. We talking about the streets has no expiration date. We talking about how all the young men in the street lost their life. We had somebody near and dear to us lost their life this week in the streets, man, and
Lost in the streets of policies and all that stuff like that, man. But that's based on a whole lot of young men and women found themselves doing stuff that they just father figures in their life.
Man,
You know?
you know that's what we talked about on the first segment of the show, man.
Bingo.
You know, lack of father figures, somebody to show them direction. Because I use my dad for an example because he showed me that, you know, I'm gonna get up and go to work in the morning, and this is what you gotta do to take care of your family. You know.
But listen, even you knew how I secured on my wings.
That's right.
So because my father passed when I was 15 years old.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So it only left me to be out there to try to, maintain.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And, like me, you was down since '83.
That's right. And you know what?
You know what I'm saying?
And you had me by several years, so you know I had so many people to mentor me as a young man growing up, man, that helped pave the way for me to be successful and to have an exit strategy from anything I may have been doing in the street. You know what I mean?
Sure.
And that's why we are here to be able to have this conversation.
We've been there, done that, and we know how to teach our kids and teach them what not to do. We've been there, done that.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. So what we talking about is exit strategies, man. How can we help these brothers that's still hustling in the street prepare themselves for exit strategy?
First of all, they have to want help.
Yeah. Man, you got Rudd over there saying yeah, because Rudd said the same thing earlier. They gotta want it. You know, but what me and brother Ron Yates, you know, we're going out to speak with these young men on the street corners. We meet them where they at on the street corners, and we give them Gynesis Radio T-shirts, and we giving them My Brother's Keepers T-shirts, and we just tell them what we got going on, and if there's anything that we can help them do. You know, like if you have a dream about being an entrepreneur, is there anything that we can help you do to bring that dream to a reality? You know, we ain't coming trying to preach to them or anything like that, but we just let them know that, you know what, you might not have a father figure, but you know, you got some strong men in the community that's willing to step up and help you guys out, you know, to
And on top of it, it's not even black, man. You got some Spanish and there's some other people out there that's willing to step out to help the young man. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
So, but I mean, that's what I'm doing down here in Georgia right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like I go to the church and give out the free food and stuff. But most of the families, they feel because you live inside a house and no help. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Everybody can help.
Yeah, well, you know, that's why I was just saying how everybody that know me know I love cars, man. And for years I drove nothing but the finest cars, right?
I'm the best.
You know what I mean? But, you know, I no longer drive a foreign car. I don't drive anything foreign. I drive American cars, you know, cars that just blend in so that way, you know what? I'm just a regular dude from down the street. I don't want to stand out. I want to blend in. And you know what? That was part of my transition, you know, to just be a regular guy, you know.
But I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? To see that you in the place that you is today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Hey, well, I was part of the help.
That's right. That's right. And look, and look, Tone, you kept me out of the streets, man. Because guess what?
Yeah.
We ran and did and hung out, man. You know, we was just into our cars, man. You know what I mean? We went to work and we had our cars, man, and that kept us away from all the pitfalls of the streets. You know what I mean?
But just so I was talking to Mark the night before last. I was talking to Fat Cat's sister, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, Tony, listen, I said, Mark, because you see me around people, doesn't mean I was doing what they was doing.
That's
I
right.
was doing my own thing.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
We just knew people.
So like, yeah. So, I mean, because, like, I was older than most of the cats that was around me,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because that was a calling.
That was
You know what I'm saying?
that was your calling because guess what, man? You know, when me and you linked up, man, and we was running, everybody was like, Tone hanging out with that young boy. You know what I mean? But Tone, you was one of my mentors, man. You know, shoot. You know, you taught me a lot of things of what to do and what not to do. You taught me how to tiptoe through the tulips, you know, and not get caught up in different stuff. And hey, man, I'm here to talk about it, you know. And
It's all good, bro.
yeah,
I
man.
love you and all this and that, man.
Yes, sir,
You know,
man. You my guy, man. You know what I mean? Got nothing but love for you, my guy, man.
if somebody said, yo, we talk, we gotta say, it's the place to be.
Place to be. Hey, look.
Place to be is
I was just talking about that the other day, how that you know what the nighttime never caught us in the streets. You know,
Nope.
we we we
About 6 or 7 o'clock,
we gone.
make plans
We,
on
we gone.
there you go.
We go. We gone for the night. Y'all see us in the morning. We out.
White Castle? Go to White Castle?
Yeah, you right. You right, man. You right. You right. You right. But look, Tone, man. I got another call in, man. Thanks for calling, man. I'ma holler back at you later on, man.
Alright, peace, bro.
Later. How about that, man? You gotta love it, man.
Hey, see what I'm saying?
You gotta love it, man.
That's totally unscripted radio.
Oh yeah.
That's what I like about this, man.
Nothing about what we do is scripted, you know.
Nah, we just doing our thing. We just telling our story.
Mm-hmm.
Cause we just like you. We just a regular guy down the block.
Regular guys.
We
man.
had the same peer pressures, the same.
Oh yeah.
We all started at the same place.
Oh yeah. We started this race together, and I remind people, the way we came in the world is the way we going out. So all those things don't mean anything. You know, all those things don't mean anything. You dig?
I think anything that teaches discipline is gonna help. Just in a general grounding, martial arts, whatever it is, whatever it is that teaches you some discipline. Because sometimes you don't really get it at home, man. You gotta realize, you know.
Well, especially if your dad is working 2 jobs to help make ends meet, you don't get to spend a whole lot of quality time with your father, but you see him busting his butt to provide for his family, so you still pick up those things. And then, you know, the village has to kick in too at some point. Like Tone was part of my village. You know, my pops was out there working and I was out working and doing different things, and you know what, I was a young kid that was blessed with stuff. You know what I mean? Come on, I drove a Cadillac to high school. You know what I mean? So I was blessed young, but I had older cats who was able to say, all right, they didn't use the term young bull back then, but you know, little man, come roll with me. You know? So when Tone was like, come on, man, come with me. I got you over here, you know. Hey, I respected him. I knew him from the neighborhood, you know, and he had me covered. I ain't had nothing to worry about. You know what I mean? He was able to impart some of his life experiences onto me, you know.
I see now it was more so happening when we were growing up. Situations and people that we met like that. I don't see it as much anymore. Like, people just mind their business. I mean, I know people that live next door to people and they don't try to pour anything into the neighbor, or sometimes they don't even speak to the neighbors nowadays. Everybody mind their business.
That's because of the fear.
They're scared to say something to
That's
people's
because of the
children.
fear that came out. Yeah, that's because of the fear. Yeah, you're right.
But it's funny, out by me, my wife had told me it was a black cowboy out there, and which was rare, you know. And they used to ride out over there by the conduit in Brooklyn and stuff, and they knew them, and you know, the women used to take their sons around there, and you know, stuff like that. They just exposed them to something different, and it was a male bonding experience, but they probably didn't realize that too.
Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta find a way. You know what I mean? You just gotta find a way, man. It's a lot of single parent households, and there's a lot of households that have a one parent household. I mean, let's keep it real. So that person might be in a situation where they have to work 2 jobs, or they gotta, do some things they wouldn't normally do. But I don't care if it's football or something. That's why all this stuff is important. Like all these programs they cut in sports and music and this and that. This stuff could possibly expose you to something else that you take an interest in, and it could keep you out of the streets. I mean, let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, you're right.
Let's keep it a buck, man. I mean, we don't have the solution. All we're saying is that we here for the community, and if anybody really want to have a real conversation about an exit strategy, whether it's a job or whatever, I mean, if we don't know the answer, we have resources, and we will try to find out. You know what I mean? But if you do nothing, nothing's gonna change.
If you do nothing,
you can't do the same thing and expect a different result. If you don't where you at right now, you got to do something different to have a chance to even get a different result.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But I think like I said, I'm proud of what we're doing. I'm proud of where we are. I'm proud of where we came from. If I had to do it again, I really wouldn't change much because, hey, each lesson is a blessing.
Absolutely, man. Look, man, I'm gonna tell you this, man. I love you, brother.
Hey, likewise, man.
And you know what? I wouldn't do this with nobody else but you, man. You know what I mean? Because you know what? In these last damn near 40 years that we known each other, man, we had nothing but mutual respect for one another. We shared ideas and plans together. And, this ain't our first business venture together.
It probably ain't gonna be our last.
In fact, we about to do some real estate business together.
That's right.
Me and the most interesting DJ in the world. Gynesis Real Estate is gonna be the next thing that we launch. Before the end of the year. So y'all look out for that. It's gonna be Gynesis Music Group, GenesisRadio.com, Hydra Productions, and Gynesis Realty. I like how that sound, man. Because we had an exit strategy. We about building generational wealth. And, big shout out to my son Terrell, man.
Shout out.
I try to pour into Terrell so much that he has an entrepreneurial spirit. He got his music thing going on. He got his t-shirt making stuff, the embroidery and all that stuff. They got that stuff going on. Recording studio and and because he saw Daddy get up in the morning and go out and grind and do his thing, he only know one way. And we talk about it every day. Me and my son Terrell, we talk every day about what's going on, man. Like some guys, how you text your girlfriend in the morning, good morning. Me and my son's on the phone in the morning. What's up, Dad? You all right? Where you going? You good? You good, son? All right. What's up, man? What's going on? What's the plans for the day? And because, I want to be his Superman, right? And he bounces all his ideas off me, And sometimes I got to use him as a wall to bounce my ideas off, because guess what? Things from our generation, the way they work, are different today. So sometimes I want to do some things that just won't work today because, the mindset of the youth is different. So I bounce the idea off him.
It's a new wave, man. It's a new vibe. It's a new vibe, different energy.
Absolutely.
But it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all positive at the end of the day. I never put an expectation on my children or what I wanted them to do for a career. I didn't pick it. They picked it. All I'm saying is the same thing my father told me. You ain't going to sit around here doing nothing.
Right.
If I walk out the door in the morning and you on the couch playing video games.
That's a problem. That's a problem.
Yeah, and I come back home and you in the same spot.
That's a problem.
Yeah, we might have a problem
We
here.
cancel Christmas. That's gonna be a problem.
But I'm gonna let you live, but it ain't gonna be a habit. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to be. You gotta have a plan.
If a man without a plan is what? A dead man.
But what I was gonna tell you before, brother Tony called in, I was gonna tell you the kids. We were talking about the Tesla right before he called in. The reason that made me think about it is because when I told the young boy was talking about the Tesla, guess what? He had the smartphone in his hand, and he was researching the stock value of it. How much the stock is on Tesla now, and how much it went up and stuff. So they paid attention to stuff we wasn't really paying attention to.
They are. The young generation.
It's on their fingertips right now. They don't gotta go. It's right there in their hand. It's right in their hand.
That's right. Yeah.
It's in their hand.
That's why I find it hard for the young brothers to not have an exit strategy and to lose to the expiration, the streets not having an expiration date. Because we have expiration dates and we should be able to beat the streets just because of technology. Just because of technology. You know?
Well, you know, it's always somebody else. Once one thing happens, somebody else is doing something to counter that. You know what I mean? Look at the cable company, right? When everybody had free cable box, the cable company got hit. They was, all right, we're gonna shoot a bullet. After that, they figured out a way around that. Next thing you know, we got the Amazon stick. We got that. We got. And when technology's gonna never stop. When somebody comes up with a solution, somebody else is scheming on how to circumvent.
Whatever gimmick you got, they got a gimmick to beat it.
Somebody working on it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? If the Russians send a rocket to the moon, believe me, NASA is trying to figure out how to get to Mars.
That's right. That's what they're doing right now.
That's what I'm saying. So somebody, look, I'm gonna one up you somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. But look, you know,
I like this conversation today. I think this was excellent. This topic, man.
This is great, man. So you know, we're gonna wrap this thing up, man. And you know what?
Oh, one other thing before you wrap, because we already answered a lot of the questions without really answering it, and I think everybody that either called in or came in, a lot of it was the same thing. One of the key components is having some type of mentor.
Yes.
It don't have to be your parent. It might be somebody you meet at the PAL center. It could be anybody.
Hey, look.
But you gotta have somebody.
Like my man Tone.
Tone was it for you. But I wanna bury this myth, because there's like a general vibe out here. They think that, you know, these men are not taking care of their kids. It's not really just a black problem either. I hear this all the time. But it's not true.
No,
most of the people that come through here or that befriended us along the way, most of these people that I know are trying to take care of their family. And they in their life, even if they're not in the household, they still supporting in some kind of way. Now, don't get me wrong. I know there's some out there that's not, but
you got some absentee dads that are gone. They have no interaction with the children. But then there's an absentee dad. He's just absent from the household, but he's very much a part of his child's life.
And let's say that, especially with Father's Day coming up and all that, let's just put it out there.
Well, speaking of Father's Day, you having a TV dinner too?
I don't know.
You know, because guess what?
You might have to call Tone. You might have to go to White Castle.
Yeah, we got to go to White Castle, man.
and before it get dark.
Before it get dark.
And go home. That's right.
Yeah, Father's Day, man.
That ain't no big deal for us, man. Every day Father's Day.
Man, listen. I'll take the Hungry Man Salisbury steak TV dinner, and I'm good.
Look, I'll take the necktie. You know what I mean? I'll be good. I'll take the shirt and tie set.
Yeah,
or the slippers.
The socks, the socks, the tie, and the underwear, right?
That's it. Yeah. That's it. I'll take a beef patty with cheese. You know, I ain't fancy, man. I'm not fancy, man.
I'm not gonna holler, man. But you know what? Go ahead, Rud, man. Do your little summation of our show today, man. I'm gonna let you wrap it up, man.
Man, the wrap up is your health is your wealth. You know what I mean? Like we all think it's money, but yo, shout out to Bobby Garcia, man, because when he came in that day, he said it. Everybody tasted the bag. But if you can't get up in the morning,
what's the use of
if you ain't fit, you can't chase the bag.
That's right.
So that's the jewel right there, man. And in the scheme of chasing the bag, we can't forget to try to eat right, to try to keep our mental state right, try to keep our stress down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And your whole life don't need to be publicized on social media. I mean, sometimes say less. You know what I mean? Say less, do more.
Less is more.
You know what I mean?
Is
Say
more.
less and do more, man. Shout out to DJ Justy Bang, man. We put the pressure on him today, man. We made him go deep into his playlist. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he withstood the test of time, man. Shout out to the Gynesis Radio family. Shout out to the New York Tri-State. Shout out to the entire PA. Shout out to Carter D. Shout out to everybody that ever blessed our Gynesis station with their presence or their music or their media. I mean, the person that cleaned the toilet, man. Everybody is important here, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? The janitor gets treated just like the CEO. You know what I mean? We all family here. We all a team. If you're looking for a team, you're looking for a home, shout us out. GenesisRadio.com to the world. Till we see y'all, man. Peace.
That's right, y'all. So, y'all, we'll see y'all next week right here on the TP Square Show, the Feel Good Show. And it's going to be a beautiful thing. So, peace out, y'all.